Good morning. This is Natalie Zangon with my video of the day. We're going to be doing our third episode of What's Behind It. It's been really nice, again, getting a lot of wonderful feedback about the different topics that we've done and the questions and answers. So I'm so glad you guys are watching it and enjoying it. So today's video is going to be What's Behind It, Laws of Family Purity, Laws of Torah Mishpacha, and the that's applied between married men and women. So the sign you see, it's on my windshield. That's why it's coming on my shirt, because of the sun. So this itself is a big lesson. Kamocha, love your fellow as yourself. So what it is that with the laws of family purity, there's 2 weeks of the month where the couple can have a regular relationship with everything being permissible. Touch, connection, physical intimacy, everything is permissible. Then comes the other 2 weeks from the time that a woman menstruates. So, according to the Torah, it says explicitly that do not come close to nakedness of your wife. That's nida. Do not come close to her nakedness. So, a lesson for us to learn here is that during the time a woman is menstruating, what's not allowed is physical intimacy. So you're not allowed to be physically intimate in a sexual, sensual way. That is not permissible. The woman is nida, she's considered tameh, so you cannot be with her physically in an intimate way. No physical contact at all, no physical touch. So this reminds me of the book that's written on the 5 languages of love, and another friend of mine brought it up, that what the Torah is trying to teach us is that there are many different types of languages. It's not just physical touch. A husband and wife are not supposed to only connect with each other with physical touch. So what the laws of Nida is teaching us of, that now is the time for you to strengthen the other languages. The other 4 love languages are permissible. What's not allowed is the physical touch. So you eliminate that and you have 4 other ones that are available. What are the other 4 love languages? One is act of service, so doing activities together, whether it's organizing the house, taking care of certain things that needs to be done. If your spouse really has been wanting to fix the window that's broken, or putting up a picture frame that she's really wanted you to do, now is the time to do it. Show her your love languages from the other angles besides the touch part. What's the next one? Words of affirmation. This is the classic time for you to utilize the love language as words of affirmation, giving her compliments, recognizing her, letting her know how much you appreciate her, because inside of her, she's feeling very broken. When a woman gets her period, her progesterone and estrogen drops. She feels low, she feels weak, she feels sad. There's so much emotions going on. So she needs you. She needs the husband's comfort and compassion. That's what's going to strengthen her and build her up to be able to do what she needs to do for her family and her loved ones. So words of affirmation is very, very significant during this time. Next is quality time. What's quality time? Undivided attention, eye contact, really listening, really paying attention, really being involved in what she has to say. Quality times doesn't have anything to do with abundance of hours. It has to do with that 10 minutes that you carve out and you exclusively leave it for her to be heard and understood. Quality times devotes in her heart, it's a devotion and understanding and empathy, that she knows you're paying attention to her, that you care about her, that you understand her. Even if it's 10 minutes, you go for a walk around the block if possible, if your kids are of the age. You spend some time on the porch in the front and you tell the kids, this is mommy and apple time, we're having some special time together. And the 4th one is gift. The 4th love language is gift. This is a time the nida time is the perfect time to strengthen that, so that she knows you don't just care about her because of the physical touch. You don't just adore her because you could be with her physically, but you adore her and she means so much to you because of her existence of being your wife. And that's what's going to strengthen her during the tahor time, to allow her body to be comfortable, at peace, to be with you, the husband. This is the investment you put into it during nida time, is the outcome that is provided during the tahor time. This is a beautiful synchronizing that God has put into place to strengthen the relationship on a much, much higher level, to teach us what makes us different than animals, what different than mammals, because any animal, any mammal is able to procreate and be intimate, have sexuality. That's something that's driven. It's physiologically driven. But how do you make it Kodesh? How do you take it on the other level? How do you create positivity and spiritual intimacy in a very, very deep way? By strengthening the other angles of your relationship. That's why the Torah has given this to us. That's what the Torah has told us. Now you cannot do that. Even when it comes to the Kodesh Kodashim and the Beit HaMikdash, the Kodesh Kodashim was when where it was considered as the bedroom of the house. The Kodesh Kodashim, the holiest of the holy. But to go in there, the Kohen, the main Kohen, which was only one, had to do a lot of preparation to get there. The mikveh, getting himself ready, the dressing, the offering, the this, the that. What is that teaching us? True spiritual intimacy comes from the whole utilizing of all the senses, not just the physical touch, not just the element of physicality and that earthly, and earth and water kind of, if you want to think about it. It's more of also stimulating the element of air and fire to connect on another level, to be able to glorify that part of the relationship. You gotta utilize all your other senses. A lot of people do not have enough training and education and developing on that sense, so their capability of emotional intimacy is not as developed, which is something that they really need to work on if they want to strengthen their relationship. They need to show it to their kids. They need to show it to their relationship. Particularly, a lot of men have a hard time in this area to fully be emotionally in tune with their own feelings and their emotion, let alone take in someone else's emotion. Men are more likely to express anger when they feel fearful or scared, rather than tell their wife that I'm feeling very nervous about what's about to happen. They go into the explosion of the anger and rage, but they will do everything they can to avoid saying, I'm nervous, I'm afraid, I'm concerned. So what the Hashem wants us to learn from this is strengthen that muscle in you. If you want to have a good home with shalom bayit and peace and harmony, strengthen that part of you. Recognize her, acknowledge her, appreciate her. There is nothing in the Torah that says you have any right to ignore your wife, to avoid your wife, not to pay attention to her, not to speak with her, not to recognize her, not to ask her how she's doing, not to ask her, let's go for a walk, not to ask her about her day, not to make communication and conversation with her, not to learn Torah together, to do something together. Make her know that she matters to you. Make her know that she's special to you. That's what the Torah obligates you to do, to create that shalom and peace and harmony in your relationship. You need to strengthen that part of you, so that when she goes to the mikveh, when she goes and becomes tahor, she cannot wait to embrace her husband. But a husband that had no emotional contact with her for that 2 weeks, for that 14 days, how do you think she's feeling in her mind? How do you think she's doing spiritually and emotionally? So in order for you to have the mikveh night be like the wedding night, then you need to treat the 2 weeks of the Nida time as that engagement stage of emotional providing, spiritual providing, acknowledgement, appreciation, recognition, and that is the secret and what's behind the laws of family purity. Thank you so much for listening. This is Natalie Zangon. May all the Jewish homes and everyone's home be blessed with peace and harmony and affection.